Apple niggas, it is your time again. Do you want a PS5
It is
Pro?
that time of year.
Do you want a PS5 Pro? More on that later. Or an iPhone 16, which is not that far apart in price.
Neither.
Good, because the iPhone 16 is good, better, good as what you fucking expect. iPhone 16 launches next week, I believe. Yes, next week, next Friday to be exact. $799 starting, and pre-orders will start tomorrow. And what you'd expect, the base model is $799. The 16 Pro is $999. The 16 Pro Max is $1,200. Baseline storage on all the phones are 128 gigs, and they will run iOS 18. More on that in just a bit. So yeah, definitely. If you honestly, let's be fucking real. You really don't need a new phone right now, unless you're rocking an iPhone 8 or iPhone fucking 10. Sure,
I upgraded my
definitely
phone a couple months ago because I was rocking a 12, so I upgraded
you
to
got a 15 now.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't really give a shit about waiting another 2 months to get a 16, so I'll just get the 15.
And on top of that, another problem that I have, which goes slightly into the ethical side, is that people in the Congo are fucking being abused and fucking mined the parts for this shit. So that's another reason we're not supporting this as well. Buy refurbished or secondhand if you can. But going more into the details on iPhone, a lot of shit dropped. I got a rundown of the iOS 18 and what they announced. Apple has AI now, not through ChatGPT, not through Grok, whatever the fuck it is called on Twitter, not Meta AI. Apple Intelligence comes on iOS 18. So, David, your phone will be compatible with Apple Intelligence. So, AI, they're finally getting on the AI train because Google has Gemini, and now Apple has fucking Apple Intelligence. It's going to be Siri AI, whatever the fuck. It's coming in beta this fall. You get more customization where you can rearrange your apps and widgets, which is already something you already do. They changed the app icons. You can hide apps, so that way if you have like sensitive information like bank statements or medical records, PII if you will, stuff like that, that's cool if others are using your device. But like, so let's say for example,
cheaters win.
Cheaters win. You can hide your DMs now. Cheaters win. It's so fucking dumb, but I get it. They updated the control center, so it's a lot smoother to access. You can go ahead, you can customize your control gallery, like so. Basically, better UI experience. You can rearrange your controls in different ways. So, like for your music, they have like a music widget where it's like, okay, you can expand it out. So that way it's like, oh shit, I want to stop playing music. Swipe up, swipe down, pause. Okay, that's cool. Again, a lot of stuff they're doing, like Samsung shit, already done. They're sorting Apple Photos is sorting by topics. Google Photos already does that. iMessages, like this has been a big thing when it came to like RCS messages, which we talked about a couple of times. That is, they've expanded on that, so that's fully available now. They have you can bold, italicize, underline, and stripe through your text, and you can
people
also
that
animate
only
them too.
use Apple Message and they don't use literally anything else like Discord or anything or
Yep,
Slack.
Exactly, it's for Slack. You can connect to satellite with or without Wi-Fi. So with or without cellular or Wi-Fi, you can connect to the satellite network, which is actually pretty good. RCS messaging, like I mentioned, that's there. You can schedule a message to send later. All right, you guys finally caught it up. Mailing, like updating to mail. Safari had some updates as well too. The password apps, the password app you can also use on Windows, by the way.
Yeah.
So
password apps.
going from Mac, they're going from iOS to Windows. So David, from his phone to his computer, he can have the password app open on his computer. Like, all right, I need to log into Twitch. I got to do this. Everything's already there. No one uses Apple Maps. They made game mode better, so David playing Zenless on your phone is gonna be better. Fucking Apple has pay in force now. They have installment payments. AirPods is something that I broke in the Discord. If you're listening to their hands-free like gestures to answer your phone, if you want to answer the phone, if you want to answer, shake your head yes. If you don't want to answer, shake your head no. Doubting the accuracy on that, and that's it on just the iOS. There's a lot more, but if you want to know more about that, definitely check out apple.com and you'll be able to find more on that. And there's like videos of the event where they talk more and more about it. next is a big thing. AirPods 4th gen. They have a updated design and noise cancellation finally.
They finally I'm sorry, they didn't have noise canceling.
So I guess they updated it.
The base version of them didn't have noise canceling.
Yeah, and the base version still doesn't. The base version goes for $129. The noise canceling version goes for $179. There's USB-C to the charging cases now, and I think the charging cases are also MagSafe. So that's good. Finally, better controls, and these are the ones that support the gesture. So these and so on are going to have that for you. 30 hours battery life, voice isolation, spatial audio. The audio switching, I do appreciate what AirPods do, because you can go from listening to music on your phone to your iPad to your MacBook and iMac very seamlessly. Like, Apple's ecosystem has always been good. I will always, as much as I do not really care for Apple, I do give them kudos with it. So
that's valid.
Moving on.
Yes.
This is big. This is actually really important for me and potentially Alante. Apple brings sleep apnea detection to the Apple Watch Series 10.
Which is crazy.
That's insane. It's going to come to the Series 9 and the Ultra 2, which is really great because, like, for monitoring your sleep is a huge deal. And of course, some of the Galaxy Watches already have that feature enabled, and of course the Galaxy Ring as well too. But it's very interesting. So Apple says it's using motion tracking to instead of using a pulse oximeter or oxygen sensor, they're using motion tracking that's built into the watch. So they say that your Apple Watch will look for small movements on the wrist, indicative of interruptions of normal respiratory patterns in your sleep. So it's kind of best guessing on your sleep patterns of, like, okay, you suffering between this time and this time, this time and this time. It's not going to be a cure, but it's going to be a good monitoring tool. So that way, if you do go to the doctor and say, hey, look, I did this, they'll be like, okay, based off what you got from the results here, we're going to do this. They're expecting to get approval from the FDA within the coming days. So I do appreciate when tech like this, and mainstream tech like this, also gets a mainstream medical grade use or medical rated use.
Yeah, it is really cool that Apple's tech is basically all, like, it's like when you look at the surface, it's like, yeah, it's just a smart device that relays information from your phone, but also it's like, it's pretty much just a very, very good health tool as well.
Yeah.
Like, people that want to use it for working out or anything like that, but it also is really good at getting vitals for medical stuff as well.
Yeah,
I will always advocate for having, like, health conscious stuff to help people out, regardless if it's Apple or not. All I have to say about that is that, hey, if they are just consistent with this, and, you know, maybe support third party one day.
Never. But what I want this to do, Mark, realistically, I want this to expand more in the space. Like my favorite saying, competition breeds innovation. We don't need imitation. I want to see other companies expand on this and be like, oh, let's do this. And then it makes this kind of information more accessible and more digestible for everyday users to use. Like, Apple does a really good job in trying to simplify the UX experience in a way. But yeah, and then chat spoiling it ahead of time. Another update. Apple AirPods updates can turn into a clinical grade hearing aid,
which is kind of crazy.
That's cracked.
That's really
that's
good.
Insane. Because as someone like my grandmother, she has a hearing aid to help her hear. So actually, better case scenario. Let's use Mark as a great example here, because I know you suffer from hearing damage due to your experience in the Army. This will be good for you. I know your hearing is good. However, if there was someone like you that came back from being deployed or being in a situation where, like, okay, I suffer crazy amounts of hearing damage on a regular basis, and, like, I am hearing impaired, because there are a lot of people our age or younger even that have either birth defects that affect their hearing, or work scenario, career choices, whatever. This is a great thing for those people who's like, hey, look, I like Apple, but I don't want to have to get a traditional hearing aid. This is not a replacement per se, like your regular clinical grade hearing aid.
It's not a replacement, but it's a good I was going to say alternative, because substitute is a poor choice of word.
And it's adding a hearing test too. because over-the-counter hearing aids go anywhere between $1,000 to $1,500 because America's a scam. The AirPods Pros are $250. So for a fraction of the cost, you're getting clinical grade rated hearing aids. They're waiting FTC approval, and it's likely going to go through. And this is also coming along the side with the course, like I mentioned, the sleep apnea detection. So Apple going into the health space is very fascinating because with a lot of people, especially older people, have Apple devices. This just adds one more tool to their tool belt. When Apple does shit, they say shit like, "Oh, we reinvented the phone. Or this is the most powerful phone we ever made," or reinventing the wheel, just flavored differently. I hate that kind of speak because a lot of the features, especially that I mentioned with iOS18 earlier, a lot of other phones already have. However, them adding this to their earbuds, like, hey, it's already in your ear. Why don't we make it better so that way you can actually hear the outside world with it? Like, that just makes sense. Yeah, it's going to keep more people to come into their... If this gets approved, you better believe that it's probably going to work only well with iPhone because first party. But this is definitely a game changer. It's going to help shake up that space when it comes to your hearing testing, your hearing aid. And it does have built-in hearing testing too. So this is something to really consider. So if you have a family member who has at least a more current iPhone, but you know, like they suffer hard of hearing or they have hearing issues, this is an option, not a replacement, but it is a viable option to help make sure that they get the help that they need. So now I'm just waiting for fucking actual smart glasses that you can adjust to your prescription, and then like has like a zoom function, like a magnifier in glasses. So instead of having the fucking bottom lens, that's the magnifier, the whole lens can go.
Honestly, if we get some smart glasses like that, I'm gonna be rocking them bitches.
Same, no dead ass. While my vision is good, something like that would be fucking fantastic.
My vision's okay.
Yeah. But going on to adding more innovation, Apple's voice memos are getting multi-track recording.
Yeah, that's just cracked, actually.
That's cracked, especially for interviews and for fucking music and content creation. That shit's cracked.
Yeah, like I've been telling people, like, using your phone as a microphone is a really cool feature, but like now that you can like layer the voice memos, because basically like phones are more than just phones, they're actual just tools.
Like phones are computers in your pocket.
The Hall of Creation in your hand, and yet you use it to look up cat videos.
I mean, hey, you're getting cat videos at
and
the speed
porn.
of light by comparison, and porn at the speed of light by comparison. But yeah, this is definitely fascinating. Like the multi-track recording, that's cool as shit. Like I do love that idea of like for music production and all that great shit. I just thought of a fucking just a bad joke. Fucking Mark mentioned porn. I'm like, oh, so are people gonna charge more for fucking audio files now? Can you do multi-track layering?
Dude,
fucking put it on your fucking OF. Put it on your fucking whatever you got.
Don't give them ideas. Don't give them ideas.
It's already there, Mark.
Cameo potential is through the roof.
The cameo potential is actually through the fucking ceiling. And again, that's cool as shit. And then lastly, I think I grabbed this on here too. Yes, Apple Intelligence for iOS system arrives this fall in beta. But excuse me. Long story short, like I mentioned earlier, it is just Apple's AI functionality that they've developed. They have been actively working on it, and I'm very, very confident they talked about it during their WWDC conference earlier this year. So, yeah, keep an eye out for it. It's just things you can do, like removing background objects and the camera tool, which is pretty interesting. Proofreading in Mail and even third-party apps. So think of like adding Grammarly to every app, so that way you're proofreading properly. Translating it's basically doing what Google's doing with, like, especially with the camera functionality, where the Google Lens translate feature. But that is very fascinating to see. But yeah, I'm definitely more interested in this other stuff. Like I said, with multi-track recording, like David, I want you to test that out once iOS18 is available for your phone, which will be like in the next like a couple weeks at best, just to see how well that works out. Because if that works out well, that's fantastic. Because as someone who works in multi-track audio all the time, case in point, when I was recording my interviews, I had like fucking 5 audio tracks to worry about: 2 voices, camera feed, music, everything in between. I like having separate audio tracks because I can control everything. So
honestly, something like that is really good.
that's powerful.
Like, no, because like even like when I do shit like unscripted, that's great.
Yeah, especially like I said, when it comes to like, all right, you can better like separate your audio and like help, and if you do it right, if you have like a lot of background noise, use AI to noise cancel it through the app or compress the audio, do your fucking audio engineering shit, which are things that I'm learning